The news took many spectators by surprise today.
This wind is causing debris to fly all over the area.
Possibly longer. When I was here earlier this afternoon, people were just about where this building is.
It was a joint effort from the fire department, police department, and lifeguard services in Myrtle Beach.
Across the state for most of the day, and with wind chills, it felt even colder.
Yesterday, we were showing you when the water was breaking the glass and picking up the deck here, and you can see the aftermath now.
We came across this little guy and rescued him. They already got the rest of their dogs and other animals.
Governor Nikki Haley dubbed today Clemson Tigers National Football Champions Day. Just
as she should.
Yeah, absolutely.
The baby was found in a pond near the tanker outlets off of Highway 501.
President Obama is kicking off his last summer vacation as Commander-in-Chief.
The original call was a medical call just before 7 o'clock this morning. Police say someone saw a person lying in blood next to a van.
And before we go, we do want to check in one last time to see where Santa is. I believe he is in Erie, Pennsylvania. So we're keeping a close eye on him. But thank you all for joining us. We will be back here tomorrow. At least I will. You'll be with your family. But we got to get to bed so Santa can come. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
They were busy here at J. Reuben Long Detention Center all weekend long, which is one of the deadliest places a firefighter can be caught in.
Earlier today, we were in Pawleys Island, a little south of here.
They tell me they're disappointed with the judge's ruling and say the work being done here will hurt the habitat and the animals in the area.
It's also a busy night for law enforcement as they crack down on impaired drivers.
And once we get on Ocean Boulevard, the only way off is where 501 and 31 meet. Lane switch right now is going to be like this for at least the next year.
It's very easy to use. You just put over your pipes, giving an extra insulation.
We decided to see what officers around here have on their belt. A group is working to lower the crime rate in Dillon County by giving children something positive to do.
This is where Fork Wretch gets its name, where the Lumber River meets the Little Petey River.
No matter what gym you go to, make sure you wipe down the equipment when you're done with it so it's clean for the next person. Tonight we have new information on a fire that happened yesterday in Darlington. Investigators say the fire at a Dollar General was not arson. The top of a cooler or bowl that's in your yard, there's bird feeders, anything that has standing water, you want to empty that out. But some who did found an interesting way to keep warm. Glass blowing. Stay warm and we'll be back here at 11. See you then.
They have not found the baby yet, but since it has gotten so dark, they are wrapping up the scene. You can see some of the trucks behind me moving as I speak, but they've been out here all day since about 11 o'clock this morning. Horry County Police, Horry County Fire Rescue, DNR, and many other agencies, and they're all hopeful that they will find this young girl alive.
We have jet skis, boats, canoes in the creeks and all the way to the Intracoastal Waterway because the currents right now are really strong.
All to find this 5-month-old baby girl. Lieutenant Raul Dennis with the Horry County Police Department told me they got a call at 10:30 this morning.
A lady had approached someone and said that she had put her baby in a ditch. So we immediately responded to investigate.
That woman is in custody and being evaluated at a local hospital. She has not been charged.
We don't know a heck of a lot about, the circumstances of it all. So we have to investigate to try to understand the totality of what happened before we determine whether or not charges are appropriate.
I spoke with neighbors of the woman who couldn't believe what was happening.
I'm kind of shocked. I have 2 babies of my own, and I couldn't imagine doing anything to any one of them.
Kaylee White lives just a couple houses down the street on Sims Drive. She says she's seen the woman with her kids taking walks before.
I've actually lived on the street for quite a while and haven't heard or seen anything like this.
Another woman told me she cried as soon as she heard the news.
Very upset, very upsetting.
Melissa Welch said she was sitting at home on Shem Creek Circle when she heard something outside.
Looked to my right, see the Horry County Fire and Rescue, and they're putting boats in the water.
They're going to resume the search tomorrow morning. Lieutenant Raul Dennis said hopefully at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and they'll be out here, all crews. They'll have divers out here as well as sonar equipment and hoping to find this 5-month-old baby girl. Live in Socastee, Erin MacPherson, ABC 15 News.
I've entered hell, and I don't know how to get out.
Megan Matson is a victim of sex trafficking.
I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm scared.
She moved from Lake Murray, South Carolina to California with her husband in 2007. Then, 21 and divorced, she needed a job.
And it was for a massage agency, and it was training on the job, no certification necessary, we'll train you here, private company. So red flags did go up.
Her interview at an apartment complex.
When I walked in the front door, I had suspicions, I had that gut feeling. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up the whole entire time, but I had faith in humanity and other people, and I'm stupid. And then whenever I walked in the front door and I sat down and she took my ID and then the man walked out.
That man, called the boss, took her to a house.
Sliding glass door in front of me, computer over to the right, and I was posed on a couch. He dressed me up in lingerie and took pictures, and there were drugs, and then brought me back to the apartment, and then put me online, and my name was then Summer. And he posted it on Craigslist under adult services, something like Southern Belle has come to town.
Megan says for 3 days she was forced to have sex with several men. One of them helped her escape.
Scared to go home.
But she never went to police.
I lived in constant paranoia and fear.
But when another victim gave Megan's name to investigators, she testified against the man known as the boss. In March 2009, James Earl Phillip pleaded to 8 counts of pimping and pandering, sentenced to 12 years in prison.
People need to understand that this is a very real problem.
South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson says human trafficking is a $150 billion industry worldwide, right behind drug trafficking, but not for long.
If I'm a human trafficker and you're a person who wants to buy another human being, I give you a person, you give me money, and what happens next? I get the person back. I don't have to go get another new person. I can reuse the same person over and over and over.
And now, prosecutors can go after human traffickers the same way they go after drug traffickers, without any limits of county jurisdiction.
So South Carolina on the law enforcement side over the last 4 to 5 years has really stepped up and become a model state for the laws that we have on the books.
2015 was the first year they started collecting data on human trafficking. In 1 year, they provided services for about 155 human trafficking victims and survivors.
Human traffickers don't stereotype them. There are people living in apartments and trailer parks and condominium complexes and in houses in suburbs that are engaged in human trafficking.
The first trafficking case prosecuted in South Carolina was a case in Greenville. State prosecutor Marie Cezanne says a couple living in an apartment complex trafficked a woman from out of the country.
They would kidnap her 2-year-old son, lock him in a second bedroom, and say, if you don't go out and have sex for money, we will kill your young son. And so she was forced to have sex with up to 30 men a day for 4 months.
Cezanne says it's all about control.
These traffickers have severe control over their victims, and these cases are serious business. Here we're trying to tell people that, you know, prostitution isn't always a victimless crime here. We need to go and ask different questions. Say, is somebody making you do this? Is someone going out and making you perform commercial sex acts?
So Wilson's office started a statewide task force, and that led Myrtle Beach Police to create a special team of its own.
They've networked through various means to build relationships with our state officials, our federal officials, to make sure that we have the adequate resources available to us. Although the statistics here for our area show that we do not have a problem, we're certainly not naive that it could be happening in our area. That's why we want to be proactive.
Megan says tougher laws and awareness are all good things, but what she wants to see happen is for police to look deeper into crimes they encounter. The person they think is a criminal could really be a victim.
It's different lenses, and that's a lot of what we're seeing is we can't prove that it's human trafficking because we can't prove the force, fraud, or coercion piece of it.
Right now, Megan wants to help make a change in South Carolina. She just graduated on May 4th with a human services degree, hoping to help other victims of human trafficking.
Water destroyed all the homes where I live.
The National Guard Armory in Mullins has been home for many people who used to live in Nichols, but lost everything when their town was flooded 3 weeks ago.
When you don't have a home to live in, you appreciate anything anyone does for you.
Margaret Tart has been grateful for everything the Red Cross has done, but now is frustrated after finding out the shelter is closing on Thursday at 3 o'clock.
Don't have a home to go to, and that's what I'm telling Red Cross. What are you all going to do with us when you close Thursday?
Janice Lehman is the shelter manager. Last week, she told me,
we will be open for as long as the need exists.
But now she says they're working to transition people out of the shelter.
We have FEMA, Red Cross caseworkers, as well as DSS, all working together as one team to assure that each and every person will be able to get back into their home, or that they'll be able to rent a place until they're able to get back in their home.
LaTanya Clark says all the homes for rent are in Florence.
People with kids going to school, how we supposed to get them here? I have no transportation to get my kids back and to.
She tells me she knew the shelter wouldn't be open forever, but at least long enough for people to get back on their feet.
That is, people find a home first before you throw them out on the streets.